Before we start, make sure to subscribe to my channel and share your thoughts in the comments. I really want to hear from you. It's a story that's hard to tell and even harder to live. It was nearly midnight when my phone buzzed. I groaned, thinking it was just another group text from her friends. But when I saw her name light up the screen, my chest tightened. I unlocked the phone and read. I made a huge mistake with my ex. I dropped my phone onto the couch. My hands were trembling. I blinked at the screen, hoping it would change, hoping somehow I was misreading it. But the words stayed, heavy, accusing, crushing. My mind froze, circling the possibilities, the questions. Why? When? How? She was in Miami with her friends, celebrating her bachelorette party, a weekend getaway she'd been looking forward to for months. She had promised it was all innocent fun. But those words made me question everything I thought I knew. The warning signs had been subtle at first. Missed calls, texts she'd quickly hide. A nervous energy I couldn't place. I told myself it was stress, excitement about the wedding. Am I overreacting? I asked myself constantly, rationalizing her odd behavior, even convincing myself I was imagining things. But now, doubt had mutated into something heavier. It wrapped around my chest like iron chains. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't think clearly. The happy anticipation I'd felt for her weekend with friends now felt like a distant memory, a lie I'd been feeding myself. I texted her back, carefully, trying to sound calm, trying to hold on to whatever remnants of trust one had left. What do you mean? Tell me exactly what happened. Minutes stretched into what felt like hours. Finally, her reply came. I kissed him. It was a mistake. I didn't mean for it to happen. I'm so sorry. My stomach dropped. I sank onto the couch, the weight of disbelief pressing me into the cushions. A kiss. That was all it took to fracture everything. The person I trusted more than anyone, the person I thought I'd build my life with, had given a part of herself to someone else. The rest of the night was a blur of texts, unanswered calls, and sleepless pacing. I found myself replaying the last few months, noticing moments that now stung like betrayal. That quiet night she'd spent working late, the laugh she'd stifled when I entered the room, the way she kept her phone screen facing away from me. Everything suddenly had a new, darker meaning. The next morning, I decided to confront her in person, though my hands shook and my voice felt foreign. When she stepped off the plane, radiant and laughing, it was jarring. The woman in front of me, the woman I loved, was now the source of my deepest pain. I led her into our empty apartment. No accusations, no shouting, just a table, 2 chairs, and the truth laid bare. Why? I asked, my voice barely above a whisper. Why did this happen? Tears filled her eyes. I don't know, she admitted. I was confused. I felt this pull from the past. I never meant to hurt you. I swear I didn't. I made a terrible mistake. I wanted to scream, to shake her until she remembered everything we'd shared. But mostly I felt hollow. Love and betrayal collided inside me, leaving only confusion and heartbreak. We sat in silence for what felt like hours, listening to each other breathe. I realized then that her guilt didn't erase the damage. Apologies couldn't reconstruct the trust that had been shattered. I wanted to hold on, but I couldn't. Not yet. Not when every memory now carried a shadow of doubt. Over the next weeks, I tried to process it. I walked alone along the river near our apartment, thinking about the life we had planned, the promises we'd made. I remembered small moments, the way she laughed when she thought I wasn't watching, the quiet mornings we shared coffee on the balcony, and realized some of them had been genuine, but others now felt tainted. It wasn't just anger I felt. It was grief. Grief for the version of our marriage that could have been, grief for the trust one had placed so freely, grief for the self I had believed in. And slowly, painfully, I began to see a path forward. I decided to step back, not out of hatred, but out of self-preservation. I couldn't continue without trust, and I couldn't rebuild something broken without first rebuilding myself. I reached out to friends and family, shared my pain, and allowed myself to grieve. I wrote down my thoughts, every betrayal, every small memory that now carried a weight I hadn't anticipated. Eventually, I realized that letting go didn't mean I stopped loving her. It meant I stopped allowing betrayal to define my life. I reclaimed my own identity, my own self-respect, and my own sense of peace. Love is powerful, yes, but self-respect is essential. Without it, even the strongest love cannot survive. Months later, I walk through our city with a quiet sense of strength. I don't hate her. I don't even think about revenge. What I carry with me now is clarity and the knowledge that I deserve honesty and trust. The pain resurfaces sometimes, but I remind myself betrayal is a wound, but it doesn't have to be a lifetime sentence. If you're watching this and have ever been blindsided by someone you trusted, remember this. It's okay to feel broken. It's okay to grieve, but never forget your worth. The people who truly belong in your life will never make you question it. Before I go, I want to hear your thoughts. Have you ever faced a moment where someone you loved revealed a side of themselves you didn't know existed? Share your experiences in the comments and make sure to subscribe. These stories are difficult, but sharing them helps us heal and maybe help someone else recognize their own strength.